So in this video, I want to look at the difference in performance between Antigravity and Roo Code, and we'll see. I haven't tested this before. I'm going to cut the video, obviously, so as to not drag this out too long. Antigravity is an AI code editor. It's a VS Code fork, and I suspect that it will have the same issues as all the other VS Code forks. For example, I don't think Python extension works because there's some proprietary stuff going on between Microsoft. It's a Microsoft extension and VS Code itself, and for some reason it doesn't run on other on VS Code forks. I've tested that a few months ago with Cursor, and it didn't work then, and that was a no-go for me. And I suspect this hasn't been solved. One thing that's also missing, for example, is a profile selector. So I couldn't find this anywhere. So usually that would be in VS Code. It's down here. I can show that really quickly. This window, and you can, this is like a preset for extensions that you have, but you can really do anything here. You can also change your keyboard shortcuts or I think all the settings are actually changeable by that. And then I use it by software stack, for example. So as that VS Code doesn't get too bloated and will slow down potentially while I code. So I haven't found this here. But yeah, so this project, what we're gonna do now, it's a small project. You can import your watch history, your liked videos, and then you can search for tags, you can search for categories, and you can search for the year that you've watched in. This is what I've currently implemented as search. And the whole idea is you can probably do playlists yourself by filtering for tags, for example, music tags, something like that. But the idea was to do it with AI as well. So we can select a few videos here, we can put it into the AI here and give it a prompt as to curate a video. It will receive the title, the description, and so on, and it will spit out a video. This is already what I've done last time. It's I asked it to generate a workout mix. It was, I think these are videos I've watched 2017 or no, 22. It doesn't matter. I just filtered for one here, and this is what it came up with. I think it said about 30 videos and did 29, so that worked out pretty well. So what I want now is I want a watch list library here, because this is only what you generated last. This will be overwritten if I chat again with the AI. This will be gone. And I have prepared a prompt here, which describes exactly that. I want to display it in a list, and I want to see which categories and tags are included in the videos of this playlist. So let's see how it goes. We're going to go into planning. And I'm going to do the same, and I try to match the model. Of course, we're going to also do Gemini Pro 3 with high reasoning in Roo Code then. So, Antigravity, the agent has finished, and it spit out an implementation plan. What I like about it in Roo Code, it's likely going to ask me questions of what I want in the chat, because this feature, so this implementation plan, Roo Code only writes out MD files to the actual project, which you will then see in diff view, or not diff view, it's an initial file, so you just see the file being written. So this is a bit nicer because it has like an actual view that doesn't seem to be like a temporary file we're writing into. So it feels nicer. You can also comment on stuff here, which is also nice. I never thought about that feature in Roo Code. Pretty cool. So it following my instructions, what I said, I want to keep it in local storage, and it went ahead and thought that we're going to do. I'm using IndexedDB, which is a object storage that is implemented by the browser. Yeah. So, but this is not what I said. I said I want to in local storage, which is fine, and then went ahead. So I'm going to modify it, and I'm going to tell it here. It actually here it says user review required, but there's no, you have to read all this, which I said I suspect that Roo Code will ask me straight up. So here I have to guess, I have to search for all the user review required paragraphs in the implementation plan. So I'm going to write here I want to keep it in local storage, and then it has to revise all of the plan anyway, because this is all based on the assumption that we'll put it in the IndexedDB. I've fetched my changes, and now we're gonna store it to the local storage. I want to do that because I don't want to introduce a million bugs now, and want to do a small change. Now it says here manual verification at the end, and I've checked, and one of the features of it is that it comes actually with a browser extension that would probably work something like the Chrome DevTools MCP server or Playwright or something like that, from what I've gathered. Unfortunately, I can't get it to work. It's really buggy. There's some user settings you can change. I played around with them for half an hour. I don't know what's up with it. I've tried Chrome, I've tried Chromium, I've tried changing the profile here. It doesn't work. These input fields are really buggy. And another thing that's really buggy is if you spawn it and you put an executable in that's wrong, it will still say it's successful. So this is really rough right now. So what I've done instead is I've configured the Playwright MCP server. One thing I like about this implementation plan is that you can comment this in line. It's technically doable with Roo Code. I think you can do user edits in the file when he's presenting you that implementation plan. We're going to look at this later. And you can do this, but this is like a much nicer view, and then you can proceed with all of them. If you text here, he's gonna assume that you've accepted the changes, which is a trap I walked into, and then I had to roll back some things. So in the settings, you can change the settings here, and so it was agent decides first, and then it started implementing some code, and I don't even know why we do a plan then. It's just for the model, I guess, so it can stay on track, but I don't know why this is a default. Yeah, this is like also had to do a rollback then. So now I have hit a roadblock, and I need to continue later on this. I have reached a quota here for Gemini 3 Pro High because it kept spiraling into thinking. Okay, we're back with another try. I'll give it the same prompt, and then also say store the playlist into local storage, not IndexedDB, to make this a little clearer and save another step. And verify the result with the Chrome DevTools MCP server. Okay, I'm gonna say that just yeah, save another revision step. So one thing I've also done is change from Playwright MCP server to the Chrome DevTools, because I need a Google login, or the app's behind a Google login, and that won't work. Playwright opens a private browsing tab. It can connect to our existing instance, but it wasn't configured to do so. And then I just used the Chrome DevTools. Maybe I could have also used Playwright, actually, now that I think about it. But either way, now we have that. One thing I want to show is you can actually, so you can start this here. I've done it already, but I can do it again. So here, if you have this DevTools file and you don't know if this actually works, so for example, this browser URL, you need to start Chromium or a Chrome browser with the --debug -context remote debugging port command line switch. And if you want to verify that this MCP server can actually connect to your Chrome instance, what you can do is you can use this npm package, model context provider inspector, and you can give this config path. Which I'm going to put in, and then you can put in the server name, which is this up here, Chrome-DevTools. And then it will spin up a UI which we can use to inspect it. So let's look at that. Actually need another instance for this, or I could probably use the same instance, it's a bit weird. So it's connecting to this Chrome instance. It's connected, list the tools. and take a snapshot, run the tool. Oh, it's not snapshot, is it screenshot? Yeah. I mean, it seems to be working, but yeah, okay, exactly. So it's failing to start currently. Let's fix that real quick. Okay, so here it is, and here I can always get the screenshot of the current page. So that seems to be working. It's good to verify. The agent's going to be really confused if the tool is not working, and then or just immediately switch to something else, which is never what you want to do. Okay, so it came up with an implementation plan. Let's look what it came up with. Okay, this is probably good. Now I don't have patience to do this again. Save. We have only save and created ad. This looks fine. Let's continue. Okay, we're back, and I actually think this is so now at this point in this video, because in the meantime I had already done the version with Roo Code, and this is almost exactly the same code, which is not really surprising because it's the same model that spits it out, but so interesting. It also did the same mistake here, which it where is it? Why can't I see my own comments anymore? Oh yeah, here it's a bit weirdly formatted. So here the Roo Code Gemini 3 did the same mistake. Oh, it's the same mistake. In the playlist we referenced the videos by ID. Obviously we don't want to duplicate them. But then the thing is, how does the library actually get to the actual video, which is a thing that you would think an intelligent AI agent would solve, and the solution would not be to load all the videos, which is insane on, I don't know. But that's what you get, hey? And so I'm gonna comment this here. And the other things are fine. It's really not that much to it. We're gonna save it with this use local storage hook, which was already existed in this app, and then it's just some bit of HTML to display it, and there's just here it gets created and saved, and we have the tabs here, which is it's been a few days now since I did the Roo Code one, which you're gonna see after this one. It's from my memory, it's basically exactly the same code. Quality wise, like I wouldn't say I prefer one or the other. There's just some small minor unimportant differences. Okay, I think we've reached the end. Maybe you saw it. I ran out of my quota again. Okay, we're now in VS Code. We're going to use Roo. We're going to input the exact same prompt. I'm going to use Gemini Pro, but I have to set it to high reasoning. It's probably going to be really expensive. Let's put the prompt in here. And Roo has finished planning, and it's very similar to what Antigravity has planned for us, actually more detailed than it. It also wants to store it into the IndexedDB, which I don't know where they both get that from. And it also has a delete playlist feature that I never asked for, and it even has update playlist, which it says maybe update, which is kind of cute. And you can see here it's just more detailed than that. It talks about the data structure and also talks about how you would actually get these categories and tags, because the playlist data structure, it's a list of IDs of videos. So how would you be able to extract that? Anti-gravity hasn't touched on this at all, but here it even goes so far and says that it's better for performance than recalculating those categories and tags every time. I mean, recalculating is a strong word here. We're really just iterating through all the videos and collecting them in a list, but it's a fair point to make. And it also talks a bit about the structure of how the component is going to be structured in it. So in total, this is clearly a win for Roo. It's much more detailed than what Antigravity puts out. So it has finished now, and can see that we have this save to library button now on that pre-existing playlist. And we also have a playlist library up here. And now, oh damn, this is always taking very long. This is loading all videos into memory. And now I will ask Roo to use the Chrome DevTools MCP server to test the code, because it didn't suggest it themselves and Antigravity did it, which is technically uh, a point for Antigravity, although you always do some testing, so it's not something that you could forget. Either you do it manually. It's nice that they provide it for you. Anti-gravity plan originally said manual, and then I added some, and then I added the MCP server, so it will be able to do it. So let's see how Roo will handle that. Um, yeah, so that's it.